Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I want to share with you guys my final thoughts on the Free Tiger Model 2103 FT2103. Is that what it is? Cool, yeah, I got it. Okay, cool, sweet. I am not going to re-record that. All right. This is a purchase that got through Amazon. This is probably going to be one of the most recommendable knives that is just under $30. And this is actually the higher end version. You can get two other variations, and of course I will be linking this down below. I highly recommend it for sure, for the build quality, for the money. Good to go all day. Very recommendable knife for sure. So actually, you know what, there are 4 variations in total. This is the nicer one. Why? Because this has real carbon fiber and solid carbon fiber scales. I did do a disassembly and cleaning. I also reprofiled, sharpened the edge. It has a ridiculous 17-degree edge. It is slicier than my bug out, and that is actually going to be its main competitor. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say it's a copy, it's a copy. Yeah, it's very similar to a bug out, yes. But honestly, this, for what it is, accomplishes a more valuable knife, in my opinion, than an actual USA made bug out. Yeah, I said it. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with that, and that's okay. This is my opinion. This is my channel. You're here to watch, right? You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you're interested in what I have to say about this wonderful design of a knife, go ahead and stick around, because I have a lot of good to say about this. And honestly, not too much negative really at all. So the price of this specific one, $27.99. Now this one does not have a little coupon like the other ones. There are 3 other variations that have an uncoated blade. It's just a satin finish on them, which, I mean, hey, this is going to be a user, an absolute beater, medium duty knife, light to medium duty knife. You're not going to be chopping down trees with this thing, right? So yeah, I mean, you'll see when I do some size comparisons what this thing is really all about. So the other one's $24.99. There's a black G10 variation, there's an OD green variation, there's a high vis orange. They have a little bit of texturing to the G10 from what I could see. And this is probably going to be just the more gentleman, just a slicker design, because these scales are actually extremely slick and they're not grippy at all. But this is the one that I wanted to go with. So this is the only one that you can't add the little coupon, but with the other variations, there's a 10% coupon that you can add. It's a $25 knife, a sub $30 knife for this guy. Let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons. We'll do weight, and then we'll wrap up with some yapping. So here we have the WE Knives Praxis, a behemoth of an item in comparison. Spyderco PM2. So yeah, this is, what the hell is that? Okay, don't worry about that. My little studio lights attract all types of things, so as long as it's not like a giant roach or something, you guys are gonna hear me scream like a little girl. I hate things that fly. Like, I'm cool with scorpions, I'm cool with tarantulas. I have many snakes in my house, because I'm an animal enthusiast, but I hate bugs. I do not do bugs at all. Things that fly, not for me. Sorry, not for me. Here we have Spyderco Native 5, Urban EDC Supply F5.5, and 2 more. Demco 8020.5. It's actually a tad bit longer, not by much. It's really just the blade shape. And then, of course, the one that's going to stay on the table for the longest amount of time is going to be the bug out. So this is my heavily modded, heavily loved and used bug out. This is a knife that hasn't really been, I mean, it's been used a lot, like a lot, and has been through many different modifications, different anodization jobs and things like that. I currently have this it's like a purplish gold, and in some colors there's a little bit of like pinkish red to it. It's really funky. I don't know exactly how I did it. I have little snail trails and stuff all over this thing, and it's again, the bug out in this form, which if you tried to get something like this directly from Benchmade, it'd probably cost you an arm and a leg and maybe your kidney. But significantly cheaper to go and just build it yourself. So here I've obviously gone like full crazy with this thing. Titanium all over the place. DNA lasering, backspacer, Lynch Northwest pocket clip. Everything's been anodized, everything's been customized by yours truly, including the blade. This has seen probably like 5 sharpenings, 1 reprofile just to make it nice and thin and slicey. But even still, as thin as it is, and I'm pretty sure this is thinner, I don't own calipers, which is unfortunate. But from what I can tell, in use, this slices just as good. So I believe I have the same edge on both of these knives. And while I'm not really set up at the moment to do a blade battle or anything crazy like that, comfort wise, it's gonna be this all day right here. Why? Because it's contoured and skinny and light, and this is very blocky and plain and just very unfinished in comparison. But for $30, this is pretty freaking sweet. This is made in the US, right? This is made in China, overseas. That's a generic brand, Free Tiger. I'm pretty sure you can buy the same exact knife off of like Alibaba or something, and it won't even say Free Tiger on it. If you wanted like an operator version, it won't say D2 or the model. I don't know. It probably exists out there. You can probably find it. I'm not gonna buy anything off of Alibaba, that's for sure. But for what this is highly, highly recommendable. And believe it or not, while it looks like they only have a space mounting for right-handed people only, you're wrong. This actually has, underneath this scale on the steel liner, it has threads to accommodate the actual screws for the pocket clip. And it's a straight design pocket clip. It's not favoring or curving or doing anything funky. It sits right on top of the scale. It's not inset. The screws aren't flat. You can't expect that at this price point, right? But they function. There is plenty of room for any type of pant material. So all you really got to do, and I've seen it done before. I haven't had to do it because I'm a right-handed dominant individual. So I've never had to poke holes in show side scales, but if you wanted to, you can go ahead, drop 30 bones, get this guy, or 25 for the other ones. You remove the scales, you tape them together, right? And then using the actual holes that are already there, you go ahead and with a little drill bit, you go zzz, zzz, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Slap it back together, and oh look, you have a fully ambidextrous knife. It's actually wonderful and easy to use with snappy action. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Omega springs that are overpowered for this thing. This thing has Omega springs that belong on a knife 3 times the size and mass. So it's extremely charming, honestly. I do definitely like it, and that gives me a good bit of confidence. While I'm not the biggest fan of Omega springs because I have broken many sets of them, it is possible, it does happen, whatever type of environment that you're in. I live in an urban environment. My working environment, it is warehouse, it is retail. I do some outside work, but I don't live on a farm. I have a backyard where I like mess with like plants and other cactus and crap like that. Um, so I don't hard use stuff, right? But I will say I have a whole lot more confidence in these Omega Springs than the ones that come on my bug out. And again, the way that this thing sits, this is over $400 right here. This is $30 right here. And while I love my bug out the way that it is, the time that I took to build it, just the effort overall, and the good memories in this knife, this is highly recommendable. Like I don't recommend getting a bug out unless you want to go and you want to make it something special. If you got that kind of money, go get the bug out. Why? Because there is a huge aftermarket following. It is insane what you can do to a bug out. The bug out was supposed to be one of the most inexpensive, ultra lightweight premium backpacking knives, right? And it took the world by storm, the EDC world and enthusiast world. And now you can make crap like this. And you know what? There are people with builds that run circles around this crap right here. So with that being said, if you have the money and you want to go ahead and make a super fancy, crazy custom bug out, understand that at the end of the day, it's still a bug out, but you can make it your own. This, not so much. Of course, if you do have some tools and you're very crafty, you can do maybe some modifications to this, but not much. But if you want a beater, or maybe, you know what, you do have a bug out and you put a lot of time and money and effort into it, and it's kind of like your safe queen and you just fidget toy, but you want a comparable item to go and beat into the absolute earth, go ahead and get this. This is in D2. It's well heat treated. I have reprofiled it, as I mentioned before, put a sick edge on it, and it's awesome. The coating on here, I'm pretty sure this is DLC. It's pretty darn thick. Like this is probably some of the richest DLC I've seen. It definitely doesn't look like paint or anything super cheap like that, but this is honestly, this looks a little bit nicer than the DLC that you see on some Spydercos, and I have one of mine here. I can show you guys. So yeah, I mean, the DLC on the Spyderco, I mean, they're gonna be kind of like a matte finish. This kind of has a polished finish, but the thing is that the Spydercos, they're a lot more uniform and more defined. This almost looks like it has just a little bit of visual texture to it. Don't really know what that's all about, but I like it. It's not bad. Looks good. Protects the blade material for sure. Thumb stud action, incredible. Super clicky and fidgety. Just snaps, and it's just it's great. It's a great little one. Up and down play, if you really like put a lot of force into it, you can probably get just as much play as on my bug out, which is, it's almost non-existent, but it's almost there, right? You can feel it a little bit, and it's honestly what I have all across the board through my collection with all my I guess Omega Spring Access style locking knives. They have the tiniest little bit of up and down, side to side. The pivot is cranked down all the way. I got nothing, absolutely nothing, and I get action like this, right? You're not gonna get that with the bug out. I'm sorry. No matter how much polishing, you're never going to have a bug out that is super drop shut with zero side to side. This has washers, and while of course there are so many upsides to washers, phosphor bronze washers, I mean, this has bearings, and they are ceramic bearings in I believe a bronze cage. You do have, of course, that fun bearing action. This knife is extremely easy and super just simple to take apart, to disassemble, to clean. There is weight relieving. The actual steel liners are not in set. You're not gonna get that on this price range for sure, but everything is kept very thin overall, and it's honestly super enjoyable. In the hand, while it does feel blocky, things are knocked off well enough to where you can actually bear down on this, and I was actually bearing down on this. I have some like triple and quadruple ply cardboard, and I was just blazing through that. After I reprofiled it to the 17 degrees, I think originally it was almost like 25 degrees. So I removed a lot of material to get it like this, but you know what? This is a $30 little cheapy Amazon knife. I can go ahead and put some crazy, ridiculously thin edge on it that probably isn't stable at all, and I can go ahead and blaze through a bunch of cardboard, because why? This is a $30 knife, and it is an absolute cardboard champion. So this one was kind of weird, a little ranty per usual, but do I recommend it over a bug out? If you got bug out money and you want to make it special, get a bug out. Do something cool with it. Do something fun with it. If you want something that's quite similar to a bug out, most definitely not a copy. This is doing its own thing, and in many ways, things that a regular bug out can't do. Go ahead and get this. Buy this, buy multiple ones. Practice sharpening, beat it into the ground, test the limits of D2 and the actual Omega springs, the lockup, just anything. Just have a good time with this thing. This is definitely a good time knife for sure. It's going to be a highly recommendable knife. I've actually been showing this off to a handful of people to work around in my working environment, and everyone that has seen this has told me this thing looks and it feels like it costs a lot more than what it actually is. And these are non-knife people, so usually they're wrong. But yeah, they were definitely wrong. They were saying that this thing seemed like it was something that was of twice the value, twice the worth. And you know what? I mean, yeah, the look on people's faces when I tell them that this is a just sub $30 knife. This is pretty sweet, and again, highly recommendable. I love this little thing. It may not stay in the collection. I might do a giveaway, or I might give it to somebody that is out of the hobby that I want to get into the hobby. Who knows? I'm not too sure what I want to do with it, but while it's here, I'm going to be enjoying it for sure. If you guys did enjoy this, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed already, thank you so much. I appreciate all your guys' support and patience, of course. If you were not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I have plenty more videos coming your guys' way. And with that being said, I'll be linking this down in the description, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.